Welcome to the Seraphine Podcast. I'm Seraphine Arocha, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do a little one-on-one today, just me and you. The headphones, or if you're watching on YouTube, I'm looking straight at you. We're going to be talking about skincare today, talking about my skincare regime and how I kind of started at a young age of taking care of my skin, and now at age 43, keeping up a youthful appearance because it does take work. We're going to start out today first talking about what I used to use. So as a young girl, I actually came into skincare very early. I have an Iranian background, and if you know anything about Persian women, it's all about oils and perfumes and all the things that you could find maybe in a kitchen, from olive oil to honey to yogurt. These are all things that I was made familiar with at a very young age that would be used in ways for my hair or my skin. And I realized at about age 13, when all of us girls have the moment where our bodies go upside down, where acne is showing up in weird places, not just our faces, but our back. I was realizing that I had dry areas and I had fine bumps, and then I would get every once in a while like a big like cysty zit. So, all that fun stuff. So you learned at a very young age to take into account these cycles in my body, and usually it would align with my period. And I started out pretty early, I would say 13 to 14, where I would start to wash my face every morning, even sometimes in the afternoon when I would get home from school because I started wearing makeup. And then I would wash my face every night because that's what my family taught me. I was somebody who was pretty hard on my skin in the beginning. I started out, you may recognize this, except there's a $4 stamp on this because I haven't used this, I think, for a long time. This is Noxzema. Noxzema was the very first thing I used on my skin. This kind of cold cooling cream has always been something I've associated with the health of my skin. And it's old school. It can strip your skin, especially as you're getting older, but it really helped cool the irritation in my skin. I also used the blue bottle of Seabreeze, and Seabreeze is one that again, you would dump it on a little alcohol, or the alcohol on the little cotton ball. And again, I would be stripping my skin because all I could see were the pimples and all I could feel was the oil. So I never used a moisturizer in high school. I rarely used it. If I used it, it was with like my CoverGirl products or, mixed in with makeup. And I realized that as I was stripping the skin, it was getting red and dry. And then as I went into college, this is when tanning was huge. If any of you women are in your 30s and 40s, you know that tanning really had that big push in the early 2000s where you're in tanning beds. And that is when I think I made the most damage on my skin, because here I am coming straight out of high school and really taking down the layers with all of these alcohol products, stripping my face of moisture. And then I'm going straight into a tanning bed. Then the tanning bed is bringing me all this dysplasia, and I'm getting all these interesting freckles coming into my face. And I finally realized that I have to start using face lotion. So at that time in my 20s, I didn't have a lot of money. So I'm going, straight to, the CVS's, and I'm getting like your Neutrogenas, and, I'm putting this on my face. But again, it's this not really working. And I'm realizing that the skin is just always in this place of clearness right around summer, and then when the winter comes, it was this like ruddiness. So as I moved on with my skin journey, I started to look more at what was in the products. And this is something that, I'll be honest with you, it took a long time. And now in my 40s, I really look for organic products, which you'll see by the list how things have changed and evolved with me. So if you look at my little basket of goodies, There's mid-range products that I will suggest. When I started to get into my 30s, I started to really understand the importance of taking care of my skin and paying more money than just the CVS. So, you start out, there's a lot of what I call gift products during the Christmas time. And they're smaller jars of higher end products. So when I started out with like the Peter Thomas Roth masks. So there's one that's called the Hungarian Thermal Water Mask. And if you look at the inside of it, it's kind of white and it's very, it's almost got a grainy texture to it. This is really a great one. Again, I was so focused on thinking that my skin was overproducing oil and dirt that I was constantly trying to dry it out. So this would be something for someone who's got really oily skin. And at that time, I didn't realize that I had both dry and oily combination skin. Out of the Peter Thomas Roth, when I would buy these group packages of like their sampler products. My favorite one that he has is called the Rose Stem Cell Bio Repair Gel Mask. This one is a lighter mask, and you'll put it on for about 5 to 10 minutes. And again, the mid-range here, you can get a nice amount of mask anywhere from the $50 to $80 range, and you get to sample and get a nice size of product. So these were the ones that I was really using in my 30s as masks. As I started to get into my late 30s, that is when I started to be introduced to like a mid-range skincare line. So I was looking more at I'd say like Josie Maran. Josie Maran came out with argan oil. This came out in the I'd say mid 2000s. And I would use her oil. And then I still, up until this day, use her intensive hydrating body renewal serum. It's called Argan Milk. This is what I use all over my body. It's a light skin cream. And for those of you who start to notice that your skin gets drier as you get older, a lot of the thicker creams coat your skin in a way that feels almost like toothpaste. I think that's the consistency. It's like it feels almost like old lotion on my skin, no matter how new the product is. What I like about the Argan Milk is it's got a little bit of a wateriness to it, and it really gets integrated in the skin. So this is what I still use. And I was introduced to the Josie Maran line in my mid-30s, and I still use her argan oil drops. And the beauty of the argan oil drops is you can literally use it on your hair, for your cuticles, your skin, as just a nice way to help boost the skin, the fine lines. You can use it on your hands. I use it on my décolletage because, again, you get this kind of creping in the neck and in the chest, ladies, I promise you, in your 30s and 40s. So Josie Maran is a product that I used in my 30s, but I still have taken it up with me up into age 43. I will say right now I'm going to show you basically everything I use. I begin my morning, and it is with Dr. Dennis Gross. He's got his Alpha Beta Extra Strength Daily Peels. So they come a month's supply in a tin or a box, and you have 2 peels. You have one that you start in, and you put it all over your face. That can come in on little, what I would say like baby wipes, except they're a little bit shorter, and you rub it all through the face and you let it sink into the pores. You wait for about 5 minutes, and then you do the second peel on the face, and I do this every single day. You can, if you want to be aggressive, you can do it both in the morning and the evening. I right now pick one or the other. It just kind of depends on what I'm feeling. But this is what I do every single day. This retails for a 1-month supply for about $150. So it is an investment, but it is a nice little peel in the morning. So after I use that, I now am at an age where I can afford nicer products. So I made a big jump from my Noxemas to La Mer. La Mer is one of the higher end product lines, but I will say my skin lives and dies by it. I begin with the infused lotion. This is basically like the body milk, like Josie Maran, all over my body except for my face. So it's a little bit thinner cream, and it allows me to just pat on the face with my fingertips, nice and soft, just to get the blood flowing. And it gives me a nice little moisture base to begin to hydrate my skin. This bottle is usually, let's see, what is that? It's about, I think is it two? It's $2.70 for this bottle. All right. So again, you're going to be, but it'll last you. This will last you for about 2 to 3 months. Then from there, the most expensive out of all of it is the Serum Essence. So this is a little bit of a thicker cream. It has a dropper that you pull out, and you don't need very much, maybe 2 or 3 drops. I put it all over my face, especially around the eye line and especially around the mouth and lip line and in my forehead line. This is the nectar of the gods. If I say, if you need something for Christmas, that is $690 just for this little bottle. So when I tell you it's the nectar of the gods, it is the nectar of the gods. My skin has never looked better, and I've been using it for about 1.5 to 2 years. From there, depending on how dry my face is and what season it is, usually during the winter, I use the Moisturizing Soft Lotion by La Mer. This is $295 for this bottle. This is a lighter cream. It's not as thick as Creme de la Mer. I'll usually use the thicker cream during the summer. And the funny thing is most people would be like, why wouldn't you use the thicker cream during the winter? It's because my skin is dry. So again, when I use that terminology of toothpaste, the Creme de la Mer you need very little of, and you rub it between your fingers to make it nice and liquid. You don't need much, but it can be a little bit pasty. And during the summer, when you have more oil in your face, to me, you can get a lot more use out of the Creme de la Mer as opposed to the lotion in the winter. It's a little bit more thinner consistency. I also use as a final finish with my La Mer is their Eye and Expression Cream. This is about $4.50. This has lasted me for 3 months. It's a small jar. Just whip my finger in there and just dab it underneath the eye line. It, again, for me, is a godsend. Now, if you can't go the La Mer way, I understand. It's steep. So what I will tell you what's out there now that I think is honestly competitive and a little less is the Goop line. If you go on Goop, the 3 things I would say are necessary. I would say any of her serums are incredible, but I would go further. And my favorite thing to use, and I use it every day in the shower, is Goop Beauty's Goop Glow. It's a microderm instant glow exfoliator, and it's grainy, it smells citrusy, it wakes you up. It feels like you are giving your body just a nice little overall body scrub. I use it all over my face, down my neckline, into my décolletage, and it is a godsend. You'll let it sit for like a minute or 2, which is nice just to feel it move, and you can massage with your hands. Keep it in your shower. The other thing I love that Gwyneth Paltrow does is she talks about the inside out. So the other thing is I use Goop Glow Morning Skin Super Powder. This is something that I put in my juice or my water or my Vital Proteins collagen water. Vital Proteins I also use their Morning Get Up and Glow. This is another thing that I'll put in my juices or waters. They do have an evening collagen that's made out of bone broth, and it's also got a coconut blueberry taste. It's called their Moon Milk. I used to drink this, but I finally got a little over the consistency. You'll put a scoop or two with coconut milk or almond milk, no dairy. They emphasize that. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the bone broth. I don't know what it is in there, but it definitely doesn't taste good with milk. The other thing that I'll use from Goop that I think is amazing is they have an enzyme peel. This is a little bit on it's not too expensive. It's for a 12 pack is $125 and it's 15% glycolic acid overnight glow peel. So if you're somebody who's always going in for facials, this is a great way to save money and the effects of it are incredible. Other than that, I'll conclude this little episode. I have other skin products that I do use that I intermix, and I'll put that in a part 2 episode. But I hope you enjoyed it. This is my skin without any makeup at age 43. I'm proud of it. I work hard to keep it the way it is. So I encourage you take a look at these products, and you'll see episode 2 with some products that are again mid-range, and hopefully it'll help you out. Thanks so much for watching.